Okay, Brooke, we're going to have literally the best podcast recording of our entire lives.
I'm so excited because I feel like I never like specifically talk about like just books. Like I'll throw it into like a podcast or a vlog or whatever, but like to sit down and talk about books with a fellow book lover, like this is a treat.
It's such a treat. And to be with one of my favorite people in the entire world.
I am honored.
Brooke, be honest, do you think there's any friend that you have that's like as obsessed with you as I am?
I don't think so, and I'm really and it's been through the years very consistent.
It is very consistent.
I'm really thankful for that.
When someone brings you out to me, I go, oh, favorite person ever, so funny. I'm like, I could talk about Brooke for years.
You're very sweet, always gassing me up.
Truly,
Kenzie really does make me feel like I'm a world famous comedian. It's.
I'm actually glad that you brought this up. But okay, we'll get into books in like 2 seconds. Just give me like 1 second. This actually started in New York like 4 years ago on one of our girls' trips before you guys had even moved here, and Brooke was saying something, and I don't even know how we got into this topic, but like I went like full agent mode. Like as soon as Brooke decides maybe she's over the whole social media game or she wants to just expand into comedy, I'm dropping everything and I'm gonna be the agent, and I can't wait. Like we could be worldwide.
We could take this thing international. Well, we'll see. I need to get my groundwork going first.
Yeah. I feel like as you grow in your confidence as a comedian, as what you were born to be, like over time, it's going to be good, you know?
I'm scared I wouldn't be able to memorize the material. Like, they get up there and they do it, and it's like, you know, they have it timed and everything. Like, that is what gets me.
Me too, because I can't even do like a BetterHelp ad read all the way through. I've been doing it for like 2 years.
No, literally, when I do like sponsors for like videos and stuff, I have to break it into like chunks.
Yeah.
And like sometimes the brand's like, can it be a more like cohesive thought? I'm like, unfortunately, no, because my brain can only handle one sentence.
I see where you're going with that, but no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm better at like improv, I think, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'm a theater kid at heart.
You know, you could do an improv show.
Yeah, you could.
Take improv class.
I feel like we should start with like Danielle and I doing a show, and then like maybe we can take like the comedy somewhere in there. I don't know. I see this.
Listen, it doesn't have to be anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a whole lifetime ahead of us. And I think my favorite thing in a person is when they just surprise you.
Oh, yes.
And I could see it happening, like even at like 50.
Maybe that could be like my midlife crisis.
Maybe it's when your kids are out of the house.
And then they're like, mom's up to something.
Up to something. So we're going to table this and we'll come back.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let this one go.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But for now, we're like really intelligent, intellectual women who are big readers. And,
very intelligent.
We just enjoy like a Friday night in on the couch with like the Yule log on.
Yes, in the book that's like basically porn.
Yes.
But we're very intellectual. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually broke that to my boyfriend the other day because he, you know, like, have you seen these TikToks about like the girls that are like, my boyfriend thinking I'm so smart for reading every night? And he was like, what like types of books do you like normally read? And I was like, well, they're heavy romance and
very, very heavy.
And then he was like, how many like big scenes do they like, is it the whole book? I was like, no, it's normally like, you know, 3 to 5, I would say is like the number, right? Of like
I feel like that's fair.
Romance scenes, because there has to be like build up and everything too.
Yeah.
It can't just be, there are some books, I guess, that are like true 50 Shades. I don't really like go into that genre.
No, me too. I don't actually, and to be honest with you, I just like the books too.
Yeah.
Like I just actually like the story. I'm reading right now, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
I heard about this, the video game book.
Yes, and I'm not obsessed. I like it. Like I can recognize it's a good book.
Yes.
But I don't know how I feel about it. I'm only at like 50%. Okay. But I read a book every 2 days. So it's like taken me like 4 days and I'm at 50. I'm like, how long is this book? Like what's going on here? So, yeah, but that has like nothing in it. And all I'm thinking is like, Margot would fucking hate this book. Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, it would just never pass.
It definitely keeps it going. Like, I think it adds a little, but it's just like in a thriller when like it takes a twist or like a turn. Like, I feel like I just need like, you know, the steadily books, like those are the ones that I'm like, all right, give me something, you know?
I don't want to start any drama here because like we are just starting the episode. But I'm a Kindle girly, and Brooke is famously an anti-Kindle girly. That's how I would like to frame this.
I am. So my viewpoint on this is I never really got into the Kindle. So I feel like, you know, if you presented me with one, like I'm sure I would be converted. But there's something about, have you ever like been at an airport or somewhere and like purchased a book? I feel like you have done that in your life, right?
I've had like a physical book before. Yes. So
but I mean in recent years or no, not really.
Yes, because this is my reading history. I grew up, I know this will come as a shock to you, but I was very shy when I was younger. I had to have an extra year of preschool because I was so shy. I know, it's very weird. I was also on the, like, my birthday was, like, on the cutoff, so like, I could have done either one. Anyways, I read nonstop growing up. I read every Nancy Drew book and every Judy B. Jones book, which, if you know me personally, I would say my personality is a cross between the two. Okay.
I see that for you.
Yes.
Now I do. But Junie B. Jones, she's an outgoing, kind of crazy character. Back in the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Junie B. Jones gave me the confidence that I needed. I think that maybe what happened there.
Your hero origin story was Junie B. Jones.
That's what happened.
Yes.
So I read all this physically, and then I kept reading, and then I would notice my childhood as things, you know, took a turn, got bad, you know, family drama, divorce, you know, all the trauma. I would read a lot during those times. And I did have a Nook growing up. And so I got hooked on the Nook.
Hooked
on the Nook. You know, I'm like, hey, they can use that. And also, I've always had to travel a lot. So, like, even with having divorced parents growing up, I just had something small that I could take with me, and I could get new books all the time on that. I did, at that point, I was liked, like, a physical book, but as I got older, I was like, no. And then I just, like, the Kindle, especially during COVID, it was just easier. And then this is what gets me, Brooke. You're laying in bed, okay?
This is my one.
See, it's nighttime. And I have a very strict nighttime routine. My phone is down. I have my red lights on. I have the red lights with the remote, not even on the app. I just got rid of the ones on the app and went back to the remote because I hate having to go back on my phone. I'm so extreme about it at night.
What time is this about?
I mean, ideally 8 p.m. if I can.
8 p.m. You're done with the phone?
Yeah.
That is so impressive.
But like
Kenzie.
9 realistically. Okay. But I would say 8 normally.
Still.
And that's just like Sunday to like Wednesday.
Okay.
But my friends know, like, you'll get a text back at like 6 a.m. Like, I will not be.
Wow.
I just can't be on it because my anxiety gets so bad. It started when I was going through that big breakup and like, you know, when you spiral.
Oh, yes.
And then I realized like this thing doesn't own me anymore.
Yes.
You know? And obviously there's like exceptions and I'm like plastered still on the weekends. And like, you know, like there's
there's two sides to me. That's why life is balanced though.
Exactly.
Like, you know.
Exactly.
What's one without the other?
Exactly.
Like,
but it's nighttime.
Okay.
You're in bed.
Okay.
Or you have your lamp on or whatever.
Yes, of course.
You have your book and you're laying side to side. It gets uncomfortable. You have to get back up to turn your lights off. You have to do all that. No. With a Kindle, you would never have to do that. You can lay any which way. It's always comfortable. There's a light from it. All the lights can be off. You can read until you literally fall asleep. So riddle me that, Brooke. What do you do then?
This is my qualm with my book I would say and also just I'm a very like low lighting type person. Like I will sit in darkness in my house. Like the sun will set, hours will go by and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have no lights on. Like I'm just like one of those people that I just don't really care or notice. Like I like good lighting, but I'm fine to sit in darkness, but that obviously strains your eyes. And I can read it like in low lighting, but they say it's not good for you. So I got a book light from Amazon that helped.
I did have book lights growing up.
Oh, you did? You would like sit with like, a little flashlight under the... Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. But also like obviously holding it upright, you know, sometimes you want to lounge in like a comfortable position. Yeah. Also obviously the weight of the books, if you're, you know, I have it in my purse right now, but like I'm halfway through. What if I find myself in a situation where I finish it and then I don't have the next book? Like I see all the practical cases for a Kindle, but like you can't beat pencil and paper. I don't know.
This brings me to my next argument.
Okay.
What do you do? I've read in the past 2 years over 200 books. Yes. And I have a 2-bedroom townhouse, 2-car. I have a big space. Where am I supposed to put those books? And you guys live in New York. I mean, granted, you have a big place, but like still, do you get overwhelmed with the amount of books that you have?
My bookshelf is definitely full, but I love it because my friends will come over. Like literally my friend Savannah came over a few days ago and she was like, you know, just finished like second Colleen Hoover, like what should I read? And I literally felt like a librarian. Like I was like going through the shelves like, how about a this one and this one? Like
the one thing I'll give you is you have a cute book stamp too.
Yes. But I don't even care if they don't give them back to me. Like I'm not gonna be crazy about it, you know? Like I no.
And that's just like something that's so funny if you know you personally. The way that you're talking about it, like I'm not gonna be crazy, I promise.
I won't be insane. Like I feel like if you borrow like a shirt of mine or something, I don't really like lend clothes out anymore, I guess. But I feel like in college I would always have like a radar for that. I'd be like, I remember Mariah borrowed that dress of mine and I didn't get it back. And like, I would just like bring it up like 3 months later. Like, but with the books, like you can keep it. Like I don't reread books. Do you will you reread books?
Not really, no. Okay. I'm not a big rereader. I mean, maybe with like Twilight I have throughout my life, but I'm not I accidentally reread a book this year because I was 30% in before I realized I'd already read it. And then I was like, I kind of forgot what happened. I just want to finish it.
Yeah.
And, you know, book goal, good reads, you know.
There's some that I would like to reread, but I feel like it will not be the same experience as reading it for the first time.
I would give anything. Actually, okay, give me your book. This isn't one of the lists I gave you to prepare. So if I'll give you a second, okay? What book, if given the opportunity, would you go back and reread or read for the first time again?
Oh my gosh. I feel like this is like I have a bunch of books.
I know, and a favorite book. I'm going to be basic. I would say It Ends With Us. Because I read that way before it got, like, everyone was reading it. And I wish I would have read it when everyone was reading it so I could talk to them about it.
That's a good one.
You know?
Yeah. I would say, like, really Verity is, like, you know, the Colleen Hoover thriller, I guess. But, like, I would say any thriller because I never guess I'm so bad at guessing the ending. Like, I've never correctly guessed. Ever. So
never in your life?
Ever. I don't know why. Like, I always fall for the, like, what is that called? Like, the red herring, like, the distractor, distractor character. I always think it's them. I'm like.
Have you read The Perfect Marriage?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that book, sorry, this will be, like, a little bit of a spoiler. I don't think it's going to be that much of a spoiler. That book was, did you like it?
Yes.
I loved that book. And I thought, this book is so good. There is no fucking way the wife is going to be the one that ends up killing this man or killing whoever it was, right? It's like, there's no way. Like, this is going to be really well thought out. So throughout the book, I was like, yeah, there's no way. I can't wait for the ending, blah, 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 whatever. Spoiler alert, that's what happens. And I was like, you actually got to be kidding me. But because I was like, there's no way it happens, it actually did surprise me. But I still was like, guys, like we have to stay away from thrillers where the wife is like killing the husband or the husband's mistress. We've got to move.
There has to be like, give me a brother.
Yeah, give me a brother. Give me something else.
A cousin.
Yeah.
Or the jealous coworker. Come on, like, give me someone.
Give me someone we didn't even know in the book. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm begging you. I'm literally begging you. But I did really love that book. I read that like so quickly.
How often do you guess the person correctly in the thrillers, either the murder or like whatever, you know, twist ends up happening?
So I haven't read that many thrillers recently. I read probably like 70 thrillers in like 2020.
Wow.
That was like all I was reading.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would say a good amount. But not always. I mean, I don't want to guess the ending, but I'm just so like, oh, I have to know, you know?
Yeah.
It depends though. You know what's so crazy? I was thinking about this the other day when you posted about it. We both got back into reading fiction as adults by the same book.
That's what I have. Oh my gosh. I mean, well, that's like my book rec for everything. And that's like, yeah.
How did you get back into reading?
I think
what inspired you?
Yeah. COVID, I think a lot of it, like I was just like, how am I going to occupy my time? You know, there's only so many TV shows, movies, etc. that you watch, right? I started actually, this is a plot twist. I started with my iPad because I just was like, let me just download a book. You know, I have my iPad, whatever. Yeah, I know. I was an e-reader for like 2 books, and then I was like, this is stupid. Let me like, you know, order a physical book. There were some books I read in college though. I would read a lot of nonfiction. They're on my list.
Same.
We'll get into it, but. So I guess I never completely fell out like for life, you know, like I was still reading maybe like a book or 2 a year, just not, but obviously not at the rate that I am now. But I would say COVID. I feel like a lot, right? Like COVID and TikTok. I feel like those are the 2 reasons why everybody
got back
mostly
into it.
did.
I'm glad you brought up the nonfiction in college because, like I said, I was a big reader growing up, and then I felt like. It's like I fell to hustle culture or something. Like I felt
we all did.
Yeah, we all did. God. And I was like, everything I do has to be productive. So I started reading nonfiction books all the time. And I always read, but I would read like I'd read probably like a book or 2 a month, always nonfiction. And then when I got to COVID, I was like, you know, it's okay to have hobbies. And I would argue that I actually learn more and get more out of reading fiction than I do out of nonfiction because it's a nice break from the world. You learn about a lot of people in different places, about a lot of like humanity, like I've actually learned a lot from fiction books. Not that everything in life is about getting better or being productive or whatever, but I would argue to say that reading fiction has made me a more productive person because I actually have like a break.
I completely agree. Also, I think just reading in general, like it expands your vocabulary. It makes you're still using your brain. Like you're still thinking more than you would be if you were scrolling on your phone, right? So I think no matter what, you could argue like, you know, I mean, people who read the news every day, I consider them, you know, intelligent people who are like aware, you know, and that's a different form of reading, I guess. I don't know. I think that there's definitely an argument for that.
That's true. I just like read so much. Like, when am I gonna stop saying like all the time?
Oh,
you know,
I'm waiting for that too. Please let me know when that happens. But I think that's our generation problem. Yeah. That's at least what I blame it on. I try to.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Now
I'm blaming everything
thinking about it, Kenzie. Now I'm gonna think about saying like in this episode.
I know, and I shouldn't have said it because everyone's gonna fix it now, guys. Okay. Shout out to my haters. I'm really, really sorry.
Is that like a common thing that you get? Or is that self-imposed?
Honestly, no, but now I will. It's a self-imposed thing.
Oh, now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're saying it and like you're...
Shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it. Okay, we have a list on both of our phones. I had Brooke come prepared because this is a hard thing to think of on the spot.
Thank gosh you gave me this before. I'm not good at like...
I knew it was going to stress you out immensely. See?
When people hit me with the like... Who's your favorite artist? I'm like, my brain goes blank. I've never listened to a song in my entire life. Ever.
I have no idea. Yes. Literally no idea. I'm sorry. I asked Kit earlier what's on her like dating playlist, and I like because I knew she could pull it up if she needed it.
That's good.
And she was like, Drake, this Playboy Cardi. I'm like, I know what's on your date playlist, so I can like help you. But even that, I like felt bad asking because it is. Asked my favorite movie. I've never seen a movie before in my life.
Same.
Actually, I know mine's LOL. Miley Cyrus.
Really?
One of them. Top. Well, really. Okay, it's The Holiday, #1.
Okay.
And then LOL is really high up there. And I would say Elf, honestly.
Big holiday movie.
Big holiday movie girl. I'm a big holiday girl in general.
I like Parent Trap. Always have.
Love Parent Trap.
Brings me back to my camp days. And I'm trying to think what else. So I guess that would be my answer.
And I've never seen another movie.
Yeah, that's actually the only movie I've seen. So
okay. So starting with unpopular opinion. Ooh, wow. Okay.
How did you take this? I took this as a book that everyone I saw hyped up that I didn't love. Okay, so this is the book Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren.
Okay, I actually love that book, but I read it way before the Carly Fortune book 2 years ago, but I did actually really like it.
Yes.
But I think I would have not liked it had I read it right after that one.
I mean, people who read them back to back preferred this one, so I think it's just like taste preference. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I think it was all over the place. I saw Margot, I think, really liked this one. I don't know. I read On Honeymooners by her too, and I didn't love it. So maybe that's me.
I didn't finish that book.
Yeah, I didn't either. I got like 3/4 of the way through. I was like, what's happening here?
The thing with Christina Lauren, and they're like a duo.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Is it Christina Lauren that's
Love
in Other Words? Some of the books I love, some of them are just like not for me. But I loved Love in Other Words, and there's another one that I really liked, but I didn't get into the On Honeymooners, and I kept trying because sometimes, here's the other thing too. Sometimes you're just not in the mood for that specific book.
True.
And if you read it when you're not in the mood for that book versus when you are, you could love it or hate it. So sometimes I will go back, but I just like couldn't get into it.
That's a really good point.
You know?
Bring that up.
Yeah. It's a scholar in me.
Yeah. It's basically the same storyline though as Every Summer After if you haven't read it. It is literally like two best friends. This is not even a spoiler. It says it on the back of the book. If it says it on the back of the book, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, get over it. Sorry. I didn't give a spoiler earlier.
Sometimes the back of the book quote spoils it, but it's like, okay, I mean, you have to give me a little summary essentially, right? Or like a what to expect. Well, what to expect is it's two best friends in childhood, and then they, disconnect, and then they reconnect in their like 30s essentially. And that's literally the same story for both of these. It's different setting, kind of different circumstances, but yeah, I just felt more connected to the story of Every Summer After, I guess.
What did you think about the ending of Every Summer After?
It was way too quick. Yeah. I hate when books do that, when they just, it's this long drawn out thing, and then they give you like a 2-page, what is that called? Like the
epilogue?
Yes. Of like their life currently. I'm like, you're kidding, right? Like, I just sat through that whole story. Did you feel that way too? I felt it was rushed at the end.
But would you have forgiven, if you were the brother that she was with, would you have forgiven her for what she did? We won't spoil it.
No.
I don't think I could. I think that's unforgivable.
Yeah. And I just think that their relationship was a little too damaged to like really repair it at that point.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, maybe if like 12 years have gone by.
Yeah.
Definitely not right after, but he knew the whole time, which is like even crazier.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would never be.
And then the other brother had a girlfriend. Like it was a very complex like situation. Yes. It wasn't like so simple. So I
did really like the book though.
But I think it made it a little more real too. Though. But I guess Love in Other Words had those elements too of like, they had current partners, whatever. But I don't know. Maybe I liked the author's writing better.
Yeah, you just connected more.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. I am not a Sally Hepworth girly. I've tried like 2 books and I didn't like either of them literally at all.
Is she
like,
hating game? Wait, who
no,
is that?
Sally Hepworth is like the sister, the wife, the. Let me look up some of her titles.
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with her.
Jackie loves her because Jackie is
Sally.
always talking about her.
Oh, I have heard of her.
The younger wife, the
yes,
mother-in-law.
okay.
Like I didn't like the mother-in-law at all. I didn't like. We read one for book club, and at my Dallas friends, and none of us, like not a single person there liked the book either.
I've never read any of her books.
Not my thing. And then, you know what else? I did put this. So I love Beach Read, Emily Henry. I love that book. I read it in 2020. It was like one of the books that I was like, this is like a staple book in my whatever. Then I didn't like People We Meet on Vacation, and then I didn't like Book Lovers either.
I agree.
But did you like Beach Read?
I liked it. I all of her books I'm like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like they're very, it's nothing special, I guess. If you're going to spend that much time reading a book, like read a book you love. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I probably, if she comes out with another one, I probably wouldn't read it knowing that I've read.
That's my issue though, because I really loved Beach Read.
Yeah. I
So
think I read that
now-
one first too. Was that the first
Yeah,
one?
that's the first one.
Yeah. I read all 3 too. I don't really know why. That makes no sense now.
Yeah.
Like, looking back, I'm like, I was dying to get my hands on Book Lovers. I definitely didn't like it.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like very fair.
I know. That's what's like stressing me out.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I probably, knowing myself, I will read the next one just because like I have to be in the know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm like, it's really up in the air. Okay, what's your guilty pleasure book?
I did a young adult one because I thought that, like with this
YA.
category. Yeah,
A
YA.
little YA moment.
Yeah, I always want to say YA is something else, but like then I'm like young adult. Like
What do you want to say it is?
like something adventure, like youth adventure.
got it.
Like, I don't know why. That's just where. But I think about like bookstores.
No, in
and
summer camp, there was something like that I'm thinking of. At least at my summer camp. So that actually might be why.
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. I put They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. Did you ever read this? Okay, so it's about kids. I read it in one day last year, so like forgive me if this is a little hazy, but it's about a group of students who go to this, I don't know if, I forget if it's a boarding school or, I think it's just a private school. It's actually on Long Island, but very different Long Island than what I'm used to. And there's a like murder, and then it's kind of like unpacking that throughout.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's like they're like juniors and seniors in high school kind of vibe.
Got it.
And
That sounds good.
it's kind of like, it gives like Gossip Girl a little bit with like the prep school. And yeah, it was definitely like written for teenagers though. So when I was reading it, I was like, okay, like do you like reading books about people in high school?
It depends.
Okay.
So if I'm in a mood for like a guilty pleasure kind of book and it's
Yes.
a good book, then yes, I can be. Sometimes I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But other times I'm like, I like love high school stuff.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Colleen Hoover loves to write about high school.
Well, I love Colleen Hoover.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
so you signed up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'll read it. Okay, my guilty pleasure book. I think you read this because Margot told everyone to read it. Actually, Claudia told me to read this one, to be fair. But Breaking the Rules, the Lucy Score, like Sinner and Saint.
Yeah.
But I like hated the first book, and for whatever, because it just like left you on such a cliffhanger. I read the second book, and the second book is even crazier. If you have seen Nashville, the show, when Hayden Panettiere's character goes into like the cult where she's in this like underground dungeon, that is how I would describe how weird this was in the storyline, like what ends up happening. But I like really liked the second book, but I didn't like the first one. It's very weird.
That's why I didn't read the second one, because I liked it, but I didn't love it. The first one. So I was like, all right. I'm not
something
gonna
about the
continue.
hook. I was like, I hated this book the whole time, and something about
Really?
this, like, I need to find out what happens now. And I read it and I loved it.
I was unsatisfied with the ending, but like that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing. Like I was like, I'm unsatisfied at the ending, so I don't want to read the second one almost.
Well, that would be normal. I don't know why I wanted to. Yeah, I have no idea.
No, you're good at like pushing through. One thing about you, I feel like you will. Like, do you finish? You said you didn't finish on Honeymooners, but do you finish like 99% of the books you read? Or
If I've read past 20 or 30%, then yes. But I won't stop at like 50 or like 70%. I have to just do it. Also, I'm like my Goodreads goal. Like, I need this. Like, I'm not,
yeah.
I wasted 2 nights on this book, you know?
Yes.
So when do you stop reading a book?
I would say I get a little further than that, I guess. I would say like borderline like 50% through. Unless it's unbearable and I'm just like, this is simply.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so bad though that I have to finish it just to be like, wow.
Yeah.
I could not get through that, you know? Just to really finalize my thoughts.
Yeah.
But if it's a really long book, like, then I'm like, oh, no. Like, if it's like a textbook. That's the other thing about a physical book. You can, like, I know in a Kindle you could see the length on the bottom, whatever, but like.
But I can't tell. Sometimes I'll see a book that I read, like Lucy's scorebook specifically.
It's
I'm
so
like,
thick.
I had no idea that was how long it was. I literally had no clue at all. So I do kind of miss that. Like sometimes on Goodreads, I will look at like the page count just to see, because sometimes I'm not feeling a long book. Some of our books are 700 pages. Did you know that?
That's crazy. Yeah.
700. Yeah. Okay. What is your favorite series?
So I was thinking about this. I don't really read too many series, but one that I did finish was Ellen Hildebrand, Winter in Paradise.
Yeah, I read that
it
too. Yeah.
It was just good, like very typical Ellen book series, I guess.
And this is a really good segue to talk about how we're real readers, because we actually took an entire book-inspired vacation this summer. We went to Nantucket because Ellen Hildebrand, if you don't know, pretty much all of her books are set in Nantucket.
Or have some tie-in.
Some tie
yes,
to Nantucket. Yes. I say that only because, like, where's the place that she'll do the vacation? Like, it's where she vacations. There's one other setting, but it's like
this
from
one was
Nantucket.
This one was like St. John's or something, wasn't it? Is that what it was?
I think
like
so.
Somewhere in the Caribbean, I want to say.
Yeah,
like a private, not a private island, but like that kind of energy.
More of that vibe. Anyways, we went, had a weekend there. We went to the chicken box, Sorry, we did everything, and it was fun. It was so fabulous. We need to go back this summer. Like I think about it every day.
I'm sold.
Like I need to be there.
We should do an Airbnb this time. We stayed in a hotel, and I feel like it would be so cute to be in like a cute little like Nantucket house. Like I see that for us.
I was looking on Airbnb last week because I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe I'm just gonna go and like get a house for myself for August or something because it's so hot in Texas and like I just want to leave. Looked it up on Airbnb, $100,000.
Yeah.
Some of them were like 30. It is really expensive.
It's one of the top expensive vacation because it's so small.
It's the number one expense. Like it's the most expensive vacation county in the U.S., even over like the Hamptons. Isn't that crazy?
Imagine having your wedding there.
I know.
There's, I guess, her other book, Perfect Couple, is like a wedding. It takes place that's Nantucket, right?
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P. Like, and then everybody has to come in for it because, like, you know, there's not many locals there. I guess, like the transportation of it all, it can get kind of costly too. Like it's just a pricey place to be.
Yes, I became obsessed. By the time you guys got there, Katie, Danielle, and I got there a day before Brooke and Margot. They got there and I was just like, I was just spitting out facts because I had so many questions that I didn't feel like I was getting a lot of answers to. Yeah. So I Googled it. Average summer, it's like 80,000 people. Year round, like 14,000 people live on the island. Like I could keep going, but it's like my favorite place ever.
I'm equally obsessed, so I would be down. Maybe not a full month. Maybe we could
do, we can do a little trip. Yeah.
Another long weekend.
Yes. I was just saying, like, maybe I, like, go live somewhere else. For, like,
I love it. It's always fun to, like, you know, have those crazy ideas, and then, like, you actually, like,
think about
it. Yeah. Like,
well,
shut down really quick.
Especially when the Airbnb was $100,000. There are ones that are, like, 13, but still, I'm like, that is crazy.
That's giving, like...
For, like, a solo person. Like, it's not, like, split.
It's outrageous. Like a family vacation there, that is so wildly expensive.
Expensive. I would like to marry into a family who has a house on Nantucket. I don't care who you are.
Genius. So maybe you should go spend some time there to really mingle in the community.
So maybe $100,000 on a house for a month is an investment into my future.
That's pocket change.
Don't worry, guys.
That's just a small cost.
A small cost for my future.
Yes.
Okay. Favorite book? Oh, wait, no, sorry. My favorite series. I love the Friend Zone series. It sounds really cheesy. It's actually really good. The Simple Wild. Did you ever read that one?
Mm-mm.
I read this when I had COVID, and I read all three. Well, they had like a novella. I read all 3 books in 3 days, and it's so weird because you would never expect it. Margot picked it for something. I think Margot recommended it. You know what? I think it was a Redhead's pick, and then I read it before Margot did, and then I was like, this is the best book you've ever picked ever. Anyways, it is really weird because it takes place in like Alaska and like this girl's coming in. It's very not what you would ever expect, but I love this book so much to the point where I found people on TikTok to follow who live in Alaska, who live this life. And I will randomly every few months remember that I'm following. I read this in like December 2021. Every few months I'll remember that I'm following these people. One of them has a YouTube channel and it is so fascinating to me. And I will lose myself in like 3 hours.
Are they the ones that work at like the coffee shop? I've seen those people, the Alaska coffee shop. But it's like an all-in-one shop because it's like, you know, I don't know
everything and like
it.
the water. They didn't have water for so long. And like there's like polar bears in their backyard.
Oh my God.
And polar bears, not nice by the way, not nice at all.
Well, they are a bear.
I know, but you would just think.
I know.
You think that of all bears, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you think of like the Webkins.
Yeah. And I was in Montana earlier this year, and they were talking about the bears, and like they'd like kill people like recently, and we're on this like little like excursion. I'm like, so like, what's going on? The thing about me is that I don't get scared of things at all. Like in that setting, I should be terrified. I'm always a person who's like, yeah, we can go to this bar, we can go here. I don't care. Like I just like. I'm not bothered. If other people are bothered, I'm like, let's leave. I'm not like dying to stay at all.
You're very good. Like, well, you're very down. I feel like
I'm down.
You know, if like other people are like, yeah, we'll be fine. You're like, yeah, we'll be fine. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like trying to stay, but I'm not like I'm never the one who's like scared, you know? So if anyone's gonna die in a bear attack, it's gonna be me.
Well, hopefully you're never put in that position again. I mean, I feel like we've progressed as a society past the point of bear attacks.
No, we haven't. And they happen all the time. Wow. Especially on like those, like, actually, I think even like the Alaskan fishing trips that guys will go on for like bachelor parties and stuff.
Yeah.
That too, because we got on the topic of it, and then I was asking every local in Whitefish. Oh, yeah. Okay. I will go to a bar and like obviously I know that they live there because they're working, and I will ask them, I will like befriend the person and then like figure out everything that I need to know about the town. It's a good life hack. It helps a lot with trips.
Brilliant. Mm-hmm. I'm learning so much from you, Kenzie. This is really an insightful chat here. Wow.
I'm like, we've spent so much time together.
Yeah, I know. But one thing about me though, I won't do like a nature trip.
Yeah.
So I don't think I will. You will never be in this problem.
But like you would do like Aspen. Well, you had a really bad experience.
No, I would do it again though. I mean, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like and not to say like, oh my God, I don't like I would go for a hike or something, I guess, but I wouldn't go to a remote place like to purposely go for a hike in the sense where I need to carry all the like equipment and be like, you know.
You will do like a cute little whatever.
I would do like running canyon,
to go like literally to go to brunch and then shopping after. Yeah. And I get that. I'm
yeah.
Okay, what is your least favorite book talk book?
I feel like we might have the same one. We Were Liars.
Oh, hated.
That was one that I had to finish just to say I did, but it was just.
I actually cannot believe I didn't put that. I put Archer's Voice because I forgot about that. When I was doing book club on the podcast for a little bit, Lauren Elizabeth and I read it, and we still to this day will send each other screenshots of people like reading it or whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, they don't know what they're in for. Because that's I want to actually see what I gave it rating for. I am also a little bit too empathetic
with your ratings.
Yeah, and I like feel bad. Like, what if the author sees that? And they spent so much time. Like, even this podcast, when I'm saying it, I'm like, oh my God.
No, I think about that too. I didn't do ratings for a while because I felt bad, or like I feel I still haven't given anything. That would be like a 2. I think I maybe read that before I started doing ratings, but all of mine are like 4.
Honestly, it'd be a 1.
Like, they're all pretty close. Oh yeah.
It'd be a 1. I hated that book. I hated it, and I get so many people telling me they're like, you should read it, you would love it, and I'm like, nope. No.
Can't possibly be the same book that we're reading. I don't know. Maybe it's a different print. Like,
we are not reading the same book. Okay, fuck, marry, kill, Colleen Hoover, Taylor Jenkins Reid, and Emily Henry.
Okay, so kill Emily Henry because I just don't.
Sorry, Emily. We do. I love Beach Read, but I'm gonna have to kill Emily Henry.
Yeah. I'm gonna marry Colleen Hoover.
And I'm gonna fuck
Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yeah. Because I've had hit and misses with Taylor Jenkins Reid. Not
Me
misses,
too.
but like ones that I liked less, I guess. Do you feel that way too?
What are your favorite of hers?
I mean, Evelyn Hugo, everybody loves. Yeah, like beautiful book. I really liked Malibu Rising, and I know people didn't like it.
I was iffy on it.
So that's the thing. Like, but I think.
What about
another
Carrie
one
Soto?
I think was bad. Carrie Soto, middle of the road for me. It was just a little slow.
I liked it. I wasn't obsessed. You know what I love the most from her are her early romance novels.
I just got one actually.
Those are
something about love. Like, it's about a husband that like disappears and comes back.
Yeah, I like that one.
I'm about to read that one.
Yes.
So, okay.
If I remember, I went through this phase. It was like January of last year where I read one, and then I read like 11 books in a month, and I read like all of them were her books. So like I just like kept going. And I actually really love her early romance books, and like those are slept on, and people need to revisit those. I like those more than like her style of writing now.
Did you like Daisy Jones and the Six?
Not really.
Me neither, because I hated the way it was written.
It was not my vibe.
Same.
It's a book that like I don't think I think about it individually, it's just like talked about, but you really are either a Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo girl or Daisy Jones of the Six.
Something else that I hate, everybody on Book Talk that then they are taking like the opposite stance and they're like shitting on all the popular books, being like, you guys don't even know real books. Like Evelyn Hugo and
the intellectuals, the real ones, not what we're talking about. I hate that. I hate that.
Because those are like, they're good popular books and like they're getting people back into reading. Like I just, it bothers me.
There's a difference too with us being like, oh, I didn't really like love that book for my taste and what I like in reading versus like, I mean, we did shit on We Were Liars, but I will I just don't like it. I'll stand by that. But there's a difference between just like not enjoying a book and then shitting on everyone who likes it and then saying because you like this book, you are stupid or you are not a real reader or you are not. It's so annoying.
Or I saw one the other day that was like, get off. Like, you don't belong on my Book Talk if these are your favorite. It's like, okay, well then.
Shut up.
Unfollow.
Yeah, block. What are you in
block? Disagreement on books.
Brooke has a habit of blocking people. If you guys didn't know that was that reference.
I give no mercy.
None at all. Okay, what's a book that you didn't expect to like but you loved?
Oh, sorry, that's on my list here because I just read it. The Nightingale by Kristen Hannah. Have you read it?
Okay, so it's been on my list forever, and you made me want to read it because I felt the same way. I'm not normally into that, and I think I should read it. Everyone tells me I should.
You would really enjoy it. It's historical fiction, which hearing that I'm like, you lost me already. But
we did love Meant to Be.
Yeah, we did.
But it wasn't real historical fiction. That's like whatever.
It was like 80s, like historical.
That was like the Kennedy family.
Oh my God. No, this one it's World War II and it's like Holocaust and stuff too, which it's really sad, but it does have it's obviously not a thriller, but it has elements where you're like edge of your seat. Like I had moments where I couldn't put it down, which I love in a book when I'm like,
I love that.
You know, when you're like one more chapter, like that's the type of book I want to consistently be reading. So
yeah, I want to finish a book. Oh, I have this theory too. So I'm just a fast reader and I'm like, I want to get through it and I want to know. And even if books I don't like, if I don't really like it that much, I want to get it over with so I get to a book that I love, right? But let's say I'm reading a book and I read it in 3 days and I'm reading the same book, but I read it in 7 days. And it doesn't matter. I will always like it better if I read it in a shorter period of time, not because it was a better book necessarily, but because if I take longer to read it, yes, the obvious answer is like you're not super into it, so you don't want to like finish it. So obviously the ones that take longer you're not as into. But sometimes if it's just like I just like don't have the time or like something happens, whatever, it really has nothing to do with that. Like I like books better if I read them in a shorter period of time.
Yeah, well, I think you're more inclined to like want to pick it up, right? There's definitely moments in my day where I'm like,
it's not even the correlation of that though.
Oh,
it's like
it's not.
Reading it in a shorter period of time makes me like it more. Because it's not always that. It's like sometimes it's very weird. I don't know why I'm like that.
Could we also quickly talk about reading speed? Because I feel like you just read really, really quickly. And I mean, not that I'm like, give me your tips, but like how?
So I've always been a really fast reader. Okay. Like I will say, but I read just every night before bed. That's the only time I read in the day normally. Sometimes I read in the morning. I'm not a daytime reader. I like being in bed, in my night routine, skincare, matching pajama on, red lights on. I have like the fire playing on my TV and then I have like my Hatch alarm clock. And then I read, but I will read like 2 hours a night and I read fast. I don't know.
I think that you just must read fast because I feel like, I mean,
I'll sit down you do the same thing.
A few hours, but I read during the day too. Like if I have a spare hour in the day, I'll be like, all right, I'll give it an hour right now. Like I don't really have like, I like to read before bed too. Danielle has this thing. Have you heard this?
Where she falls asleep immediately. And she will read half a page and sleeping.
Yeah, she's like, how do I read faster? I'm like, maybe you should try reading at other points of the day. And I know that's very lucky, but a lot of New York people, like, they read during their commute. Like, they read at other time. Like, there's definitely other points in the day you can find up, you know, your lunch break. Like, there's pockets of time.
But and also, I don't care what anyone says. You have time to read. Look at your screen time. Like, no, I don't want to get canceled for this, but like, I have more time to read in the day from like screen time. You can literally, like, people like read on their phones. Okay, like, please don't cancel me. Like, everyone has like different things, please. But your screen, like, just swap it out. And it also helps with anxiety. Danielle, I told her she has to get in bed before she's tired. That's what I do. I'm not tired when I go to bed. That's the difference.
Yeah.
If I'm like, the other thing about me though is like, I'll get home from the bars drunk and I will read and like my head will be hurting and I read to go to bed. It's so crazy. But like, I can't always, it's not that I forget it. It's just like sometimes the page is too blurry.
Yeah, that's my thing would be, I don't know if my memory recall would be as good.
Yeah. Well, I read like 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah.
But I've been like, we're not binge drinking anymore these
yeah.
days. We're over it. So by the time I get home now, I'm like sober. So it's fine.
Okay,
I can read at night.
Yeah.
But I do it every night. My book that I didn't expect to like but loved is The Butcher by Jennifer Hillier. And you look at the cover, you're like, Jennifer Hillier is like my favorite thriller author ever. I love her.
Do you know how to spell?
Hillier, it's like Hill, I-E-R. Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier is my favorite thriller book ever.
Wow.
Like, by far.
I'll add that.
And it's one that shocks you, like the wife doesn't kill the husband.
Thank you.
So it's really good.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, literally. The Butcher is so good. And I got Margaret to read it and she loved it too. And I was nervous because I was like, she's going to flame me.
I don't like recommending Margaret books.
No, I don't either. I'm like, please, I don't know about this one. I don't know. But she loved it. And I was like, wow, so it's a good book.
Yeah. I don't really like recommending Margot anything because I get nervous that we're going to disagree and then I'm going to be like a piece of shit, So like.
Yes. Okay, what's your favorite memoir?
Oh, you threw me through a loop with this one.
I can give one for you. You just read Jeanette McCurdy's.
I did really like Jeanette.
I like that one. Have you read Open Book?
Oh yes, and Jessica Simpson.
Those
of
are
course.
my top 2.
I mean, yeah, you told me to read that one. Mm-hmm. That was like early days of reading too. Not early days, but like before I was in my real.
Yeah, it was so because that was early for me as well. Okay, top 5 all time. This is like next to impossible. So I just did this so we could give Rex. So you go first, and we don't even have to elaborate on it. Just rapid fire.
All right. I don't know. I agree. I don't know if these are my top 5 of all time. These are just top 5 books that I really, really like. 28 Summers, Ellen Hildebrand.
Love.
Tell Me Lies, which was just made into a Hulu show.
Yes.
Carol Lovering. I really like a lot of her books too. I like her writing. Read this year and loved it. In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle.
Yes.
Did you like that one?
Yeah, I read that forever ago. Yeah.
It's short too, so it's like a good one to kind of get back into it. And then I have 2 nonfiction. Because,
Ooh,
I'm just like
such an intellectual.
This one literally changed my life though. Like dating, relationships, literally everything attached.
Yes. I love that book. It changed my life. Yes.
Completely agree. And it's not like one of these like cold like doctor. I mean, it's written by doctors, but they like it's very like case study.
Digestible too.
Digestible. Yeah. That's the word. And then actually, this I guess is a memoir. Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. I would recommend that to everyone. It's very just like I love it. It's
Brooke, that's so sweet.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. No, I actually listened to that on Audible like forever ago, so I didn't even read it. But like I think back to it often when I'm like, oh, like I don't know if I should like do this thing. I'm like, Shonda Rhimes would do it. Like get up and do it.
Yeah. I love that book. I read that before I was like back into that was one of my nonfiction college reads. I think actually. I love Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah, she's great.
Okay, so I'm going to have to say Seven Husbands just because I think about it a lot, of Evelyn Hugo, Taylor Jenkins Reid. Everyone knows that one. Little Secrets, Jennifer Hillier, so good. Friend Zone series, I've already said that in a series, and the Simple Wild series. I should have given you other ones, but I just love those. And then Pack Up the Moon, Kristen Higgins. I like sobbed in that book.
Oh, I haven't read that.
I cried. Yeah. Okay. Like I like actually. Have you ever cried in a book?
Yes, many times.
Good.
I just read Reading Nightingale. I don't like, but like I need to break those up though because I don't.
You don't be depressed.
I don't like to cry every book I read. I simply don't.
Me neither.
No, I mean that's not like fun. Like I think it's healthy to feel emotion, but like if I'm like happy, why would I like force myself to cry? Like,
yeah.
I don't really watch too much like sad TV or anything for that reason either. Do you?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I.
No, I honestly don't really watch that much TV. But
you're reading all the time.
Yeah, but I have a really bad attention span. Like I can watch a vlog for 30 minutes. Like I will put on New York City Week in My Life, Brooke, but like I can't. And I think with vlogs, it's like you don't have to watch every single second of it. You can be doing other things and you still know what's happening. But with like I don't know what it is. I get on my phone and I'll go on TikTok or something. Like I'm so bad about getting on my phone or like getting on my laptop to do something that I literally have to like I have to be reading, so I'm not doing that stuff.
I completely get it.
Okay, so let's do top 3 books for a new reader. Like what are your 3 that you recommend people?
Okay. Well, this is my. We're gonna have the same one, I'm assuming, or the same one that got you back into reading, maybe.
I didn't put it on here because I knew you would put it on.
Okay, Last Mrs. Parrish. I think you told me this. Everybody told me this.
Yeah.
Best thriller, and I will give a case study on this. My mom hasn't read a book in years. I took her to the bookstore. I said, this is what you're gonna get. Like she called me the other day. She's like, Brooke, I'm halfway through. This is like remarkable. Like I was like, I'm shocked. So that just shows how good it is. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. Have you read that?
Oh, I love that one.
Loved it.
Yes.
Just like really current thriller. Like
yes, I loved that one.
Yes,
so good.
And it's like pretty quick. It's not actually quick, but like I feel like I can get through it quick. You know,
you're interested the whole time.
Yes, so I feel like that's a good one to get back to it. And then last one is Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino.
That was one of my top. That's the book that made me realize I liked romance books because I read all thriller and I didn't think for whatever reason I would be super into them. Like I wasn't against them, but that is the book that made me get into everything else.
Yeah, and these would be in my like favorite books category too. That's why I didn't put them in there because like I was
I'm trying to like space it out.
Stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to make the most of it.
Yes.
What are yours? I'm curious.
So I also put Before We Were Strangers, but I put 4 just in case we overlap because I figured we would. This is what I tell like a new reader. And I always do it on books that there's a lot of talk about online because the community aspect of reading makes it so much better.
So true.
When you can like talk to people, hear what their thoughts, like I love that aspect of it. So Seven Husbands, again, that's just a good one that like these are like staples that you need to read.
Good. You recommend very like everyone will like
it. It ends with us, obviously, because we're recording this early. This will be up after It Starts With Us comes out, but incredible. Verity too, because that's everyone's like go-to thriller. I feel like that's like the gateway drug to thrillers.
Yes.
And Before We Were Strangers is like the gateway to romance.
Completely.
So those would be mine.
Wow.
I feel like we did a great job.
I think so too. We gave people so many places to start. I mean, gosh, I hope people like books that are listening to this.
No, there's like no way. I feel like this is gonna be like a really. Oh my god, I'm like choking.
Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna be a highly listened to episode.
And you're really inspiring me to join a book club because that's one thing that I'm not in. I do like, look up. Actually, I did want to give a shout out because you asked me to prepare who's my favorite book influencer. Just really quick. book_club_at_Kelsey's. She's one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram, and I feel like I'm part of her book club because I like read everything she recommends. She does a cast. Like a cast of everything, like a playlist. She just is one of those people but I'm not officially in any book club.
I was also going to ask what book would you want to turn into a movie? And I actually can't believe I didn't say this, my favorite series, Magnolia Parks. That's like have you read that?
No.
So it is a really good friend of mine's book. That's why like when I talk about it, I feel like people don't like listen. Like all of the reason that my podcast switched to navigating in your 20s is because of my episodes with Jessa, who's the author. So this is before the like Magnolia Parks came out, but I was reading that's how we became friends, is she sent me the book to read early and like John was friends with her. And I love her, but I would love the books the same if I didn't know her. They're so good. They're like a London version of Gossip Girl, but better. And like the other thing too is that like I don't remember what was in what book and I don't remember what's out versus what isn't. So they're so good though. They're so good. And that's what I want to become a movie.
Okay, cool. I put Meant to Be by Emily Giffin. Because I love that. I think that's our historical fiction.
I have like 15.
Wouldn't that be such a good movie though?
So good. I have like 15 books about the Kennedys in my Kindle downloaded after I read that book.
Oh my God, I loved it. That was one of my favorites this year.
It made me feel smart. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Historical fiction.
Yes, so into this.
Yeah, it's, not really.
The modern American, like, royal family. I don't know about that, but.
Okay, well, we should do another one of these eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, because I, love this episode.
I love it.
And
this was amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. By the way, we did plan this episode when we were in Nantucket. It was a nice walk in the morning.
And here we are.
I know.
Manifested into reality.
We really did. Go after your dreams, kids. Okay, well, thank you for coming on. Where can they find you?
At Brooke Miccio, BROOKEMICCIO, everywhere.
YouTube, Gals on the Go?
TikTok. Oh, yeah. Podcast too. I'm like, it's all me? No, I have a podcast with Danielle Caroline, Gals on the Go, at Gals on the Go podcast. And we talk about books sometimes. I feel like not as heavily as you do, but it's a good time.
No, I feel like on podcasting we probably do the same because it's not like...
Yeah, it's like a favorite. Like we throw it in. Like I'll be like, oh, I read this book, but it's not really like full.
It's like a content play kind of conversation.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. We're going to go to lunch. So love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know by giving it a nice thumbs up and subscribe for more.